My name's Dobby and welcome to Gameception episode 2, still making Among Us. Dibby, as you can tell, obviously isn't here. That's because she's got a lot of things in the real world and she said it's okay for me to make a video. She might join us later, she might not, I don't know. As you can see, a lot's happened since the last video. And there is a reason for that. So we recorded a lot, we recorded all of this happening, and it was about 24 hours of footage. And we sent it to our editor, and he broke it, he started breaking it down, but it was a lot. So you've seen the first part of it, and eventually we just decided it's too much, it's going to take forever to show you what we've done. So now I'm just going to give you a brief, quick look around at what's happened so far. I'm not going to actually show you what we recorded in a 24-hour block. So Dibby obviously has made the map. She's just on the floor and a bit of the walls of the cafeteria. And I've gone around and I've made all the tasks. I think I showed you Reactor in the last video, which is this one here. I've actually installed them into the map instead of just having them in a place over there. This one is unlock manifolds, I think. I couldn't randomize the numbers, so I just, when you do it on the actual game, it's supposed to be random, but I just got random signs, because there wouldn't be a way to show which order you're supposed to press them in. And then it's just a bunch of slime blocks that unlock these hoppers in a specific order. They get an item around here, which unlocks the hopper. You can put your paper or whatever in and do it. A lot of these are really small ones. Anything that's just tapped the screen or whatever, I use the button or lever for. This is supposed to be download data, so you just have to stand on the pressure plate, and that lets all of these items move into this hopper. But when it's done, this gives you your next task. I think I showed you wires as well, so there's a bunch of wires dotted around the place. And there's this one. This is, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one in electrical where you have to time it so that when the circle moves round, you tap it when it gets to the certain place and it stops, and then move on to the next one and the next one. That was a terrible job of explaining, but I'll show you how it works. So right now, if I put my item in there, it stays there until you activate this, and it's going to start flashing on every so often, and then you just have to press this button when it's on. There we go. Okay, so now this one's flashing, and if you get that, it moves to the bottom one. The item's still there. And then if you get this one, the item should disappear. It's just gone down there. So all that is basically is 3 different very basic clocks activated by T flip-flops. Whenever a clock stops, it starts the next T flip-flop, and each button goes into an AND gate with the light, which stops the T flip-flop. That's a bunch of confusing words. You can have a look at it here if you want to build it yourself. This one here is the leaves task, so this is an O2. You press this button which starts the clock, which fires a few, but these will be filled with leaves, and you use the same shulker box system in the reactor task to randomly select barrels that the leaves will go into. Then you just need to take them out, put them in here. There's a hopper system, and then it will end up in this chest. Every time an item goes in there, it's going to trigger this system up here. It goes into a half flying machine. So when the half flying machine is done, it resets and goes back down here to unlock the hopper. This one here is the shields task. I went with chests because A, they're transparent, which was needed for part of the redstone, I think, I can't remember exactly where. And B, it doesn't really matter because this is a visual task. And I've also got this light here that will turn on when it's done because it's supposed to be visual. So it's basically the same as the leaves one. Items go into these and then you just have to throw them down here. And then once you've done enough, it will be done. This here is the scan task. So if you stand on these pressure plates, then standing in, it takes I think 10 seconds or so. And then the light turns on, and then you put your item in there, which I didn't do. Probably should have done that. So this task is the one in Medbay. I can't remember what it's called. It's the one with the samples, and you have to wait 60 seconds to find out which one is the bad sample. You just flick this lever, which starts a clock here. This is a bunch of items I had with me. It lasts for 60 seconds, and then it's going to retract this piston and everything, which is a bunch of redstone magic, which lifts up all of these barrels, and then picks one randomly. There will be shock boxes in here, just like in, whatever it was, that one, in reactor. I haven't put them in yet, but I will. A random system, which is going to fire an item into one of them, and that's the bad one. And that's going to be mirrored over here with these T flip-flops. So then you press the button above the corresponding one, which does two things. It turns off the T flip-flop on this side, and it resets the system on this side. So once the system turns off, again it's just like in a reactor. There's one back here to unlock the hopper. And then there's just a warning to turn off the lever when you're done. Finally, we have this absolute monster of redstone. This is the asteroids task. And however big you thought any of these were, just look at this. It's almost as big as a map. I'll try and walk you through it. So this button here starts it. Again, it goes into one of those shulker box randomizer things. And this is basically identical to it in reactor. So it will choose one of 9, which just makes its way round here to turn on one of these lights temporarily. You then need to press the corresponding button on this side. Each of them will extend a barrel with a different comparator level. That shouldn't be the case, I have to fix that. A different comparator level in. It will send a different signal all through here, which will turn off the corresponding T flip-flop, which is a bunch of other stuff, which stops this flying machine here. So once you've done it enough times, the flying machine makes its way down to this end, and the task is complete. There's a lot of delay between this side and that side, so it doesn't always match up. So you probably just want to end up tapping buttons randomly, which isn't too much of a problem because that's basically what happens anyway. That's just about everything old that I did. So let's look at something I've been doing more recently. This is for the admin system. So this part here is just designed to tell you which way you're moving through a corridor. So you've got one room on this side, one room on that side, and see these two wood blocks here. This is just a way to visualize how it's working. It's not actually going to be like that. The output's just down here. I've led it into the pistons. The size that you've come from should be the one that activates. So if I just go down here and look up, then we should see that wood block to the left of your screen underneath my coordinates. That should be the one that lifts up. There we go. Now if I go backwards, the one on the right should be the one that lifts up. So the way it works is each side is basically the same. So this pressure plate here, there's two things. First of all, it turns off this torch, which retracts this wooden block. And on the other side, it extends this observer here, into the wooden block from the other side. Essentially, if I'm coming from this side over to here, then this pressure plate will stop the signal from this pressure plate reaching over here, because this block will have retracted, so the reservoir doesn't do anything. But there's nothing stopping this signal from this pressure plate reaching its own piston, so that's why that one extends but that one doesn't, and obviously the same but reversed, coming the other way. So I'm going to link this up to some sort of, probably a half-flying machine, or maybe some droppers facing into each other, some way of showing how many people are in a room. So, what I showed you before is how the redstone is going to know how many people are in a room, but it's going to be shown to the player by this system. So we're in admin right now, and Dibby says she'll repair the floor, and I don't envy her the task, because this redstone here has to be at this level. So what this does is, well, I'll show you. So you stand here, and you press this button, and then you get shot up here. So there'll be another room up here, which is where the information from the system I designed back here. Here it is. So the information from this, there'll be one in every entranceway, and it's going to be relayed somehow into whatever room is going to be up here at the top. And then to get back down, you just press this button, which drops the floor beneath you, and you can go in. So the way it works is that when you press this button, it turns off this torch here, which after a bit of delay will retract this block here, which is obviously how you get up there. And it also retracts this piston, which will retract this piston here as well, which starts this pulse extender, which retracts this double piston extender here, which retracts this whole module. But it also starts this pulse extender, which retracts this block here. So this goes down, then this whole module moves aside, so this piston here with the slime block is actually in the place of this piston here that has this block. And then around here, this still comes from this pulse extender, timed just right, it goes into this piston there with an observer, so we get a really short pulse, just one tick, into the slime block, which launches you upwards, just in time for this delay to tick off, and then the piston extends, and these down here re-extend. And then also to get down, all this does is blocks that redstone signal so the piston retracts. So I'll show you down here again, and you can actually watch the redstone and see what happens. So now I'm just going to do is install all of the systems from before with the pressure plates, and then somehow find a way to hook them up to whatever platform will be up here.
I have some explaining to do. So while I do so, enjoy these moderately amusing Minecraft memes. So I'm currently in the process of editing this video. Specifically, I'm at the part where I add subtitles, and this is the point I'm going to stop. The reason for this is that it's so draining. Each subtitle takes forever to add, about 3 times the length of the actual clip. I can hardly bring myself to do more than 2 minutes worth of footage at a time. I've had this project going for days and I still can't finish. At this point in time, I haven't recorded all the footage for the video. I still need to do the outro and a bit before that. But it's gotten to the point where I'm actually dreading doing that, because I know it's going to just give me more subtitles to add. This channel was intended to be fun, both for you and for me, and I don't want video making to become a chore. However, I'm aware that some viewers do enjoy subtitles, and not the terrible YouTube auto-generated ones. So I propose this. If subtitles make a big difference to your viewing experience, tell us. Leave a comment, or if you already see one down below, then give it a thumbs up, make sure we can see it. I'm not going to promise I'll keep doing them, because that would be unfair of me. But if there are lots of you who prefer them, I will consider, and that is a promise, I will consider keeping on with the subtitles. Obviously I'm still going to add them where the dialogue is hard to understand. I do tend to slur my words a bit, but I can't keep doing this, not unless it's worth it for all of you. If it is important to you, I hope you can bear it for the remainder of this video. Thank you for understanding, and let's get back to some good old Among Us.
So I just wanted to give you an update on how it's going. So I was originally going to do the whole thing and then show you, but I realised after the first one that would be kind of a mess of slime. So I've just built the first system here for cafeteria. It's the same as I showed you there. And each of the outputs connects to a different system of slime systems. I used a half-flying machine because I couldn't get comparator levels to work. Sometimes it would skip a block, sometimes it wouldn't do one, it wouldn't work properly. So I used a half-flying machine with a redstone block here. So right now, if you were to go inside and look at cafeteria, you would see there are no people in there. But if we go and enter like this, and the system now thinks we've gone in, and we should see over here, basically the first lamp is lit. If we go in here, yep, there's one person in cafeteria. And if we go in a few more times, 2, 3, and 4, then we should see that there are 4 people in here. And you see there's 3 lamps before the lit one. I know that in the real game it would show you like 4 lit lamps, and I did make a system that could do that, but the lamps had to be double spaced, so it would be one here, and then one here, and then one here, in order for the redstone at the back. And I mean, this room is pretty big as it is, so there has to be lamps on the ceiling, so I didn't really want to make it twice as big. And obviously it works the other way around, so there's 4 people in there now, and if 2 of them leave, for example, then 1, 2, we should see only 2 people left. Yeah, there we go. There's, if you go in here, there's just 2 people in there now. I might put signs saying 1, 2, 3 and so on. I'm probably not going to though, because A, counting really isn't that hard, and B, in the corner obviously you can't have the signs, so I just specify that it's counting from left to right, and it shouldn't be a problem. So now I'm just going to, what I'm going to have to do first is build this pressure plate system in each of the entrances, connect them all up to the same slime block relay system, and then do that for each room. And I will check back with you when that's done, unless I do something else instead. So it's done. What do you think? So yeah, it's a complete mess of redstone. Luckily, there will be roofs on this map, obviously, so all of it will be covered. But yeah, it's not the nicest thing to look at, but it is done, and that's the important thing. I'm sure you're all thinking, but Dobby, what about the vents? Because obviously the map in admin shows you if someone vents into a room, but these systems only work for walking through the doorways. Well, I've thought of that, and I've made the first vent system over here. This is between reactor and lower engine. And I decided that obviously the vent for lower engine is actually here somewhere, I just can't remember where, but it's not in this corner. I decided as long as it gets to the same room, it doesn't matter where it is, unless it's like reactor or navigation where there are 2 vents, in which case they should probably be roughly the right location. These 2 systems here are identical. The only reason this uses lamps is because I don't like to move my hotbar a lot, and I just had the lamp from here and there, and I thought, why not use it? So what it does is, if you're an imposter and you're walking along here, you don't want to have to waste time closing the vent behind you. So if you open the vent, it closes it automatically. And it flashes this light, because as I'm sure you know, in Among Us, there's an animation that events do. So hopefully this flash of light should do the same thing. It should capture the attention of any crewmates if the imposter is being a bit careless. So you just walk down here, not like that, like that. I said like that. There we go. And obviously coming up is exactly the same. So what we have down here are two buttons, one labelled in and one labelled out. So you press this depending on where you're going. So I just came from the actor, so I'm going out. So I would press the out button. And each of those buttons, those actually shouldn't be connected. I'll have to change that. But they each lead to the same bit of redstone, which does the admin map over there with the flying machines. So it's not as automatic as pressure plates, obviously, but it's a one wide tunnel, so the buttons shouldn't be too hard to miss. Taking it down there, there we go. The buttons aren't too hard to miss, and I'll say at the start of the game, you know, make sure to press the button. And so I chose to light this with just redstone torches, because you get most of the light from out here with the trapdoors, which let light through. And I thought here it was actually quite dark, and I could have gone with something brighter, but I wanted to kind of give off this kind of dark, creepy vibe. It's a vent after all. It's meant to be a small, narrow space. You're not supposed to be there. So that's why I tried to make it a bit dark with only using redstone lamps torch, and obviously that's mirrored here with two buttons, and the trapdoor also closes. The redstone behind it is not that complicated. Essentially, my main problem was if I just had a system like this without part back here, it would keep triggering because the observer would keep detecting it opening and closing. So this system removes that block just in time for the second signal from this closing again to come through, so it doesn't start an infinite loop. The delay is very precise. I couldn't really make this any longer, so you'd have to be quite quick in going in. I could have made it longer, but I would have to extend the whole thing by having the block to the side, and redstoners don't like that. So now I just need to copy the system for the 6 vent networks in the Skeld, and then we can move on finally.
Hi, I'm here. I know you've not heard me for a while because I've been lonely. I'm now going to start building up the walls for the rooms. That's going to be a really dull job. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it.
The price of having a YouTube channel.
No, but it doesn't be tedious to build up walls.
Don't tell me about tedious. There were 14 rooms here. I had to connect each of them to admin.
I have to decorate details and do all the walls for all 14 rooms. Get that where you are, Dobby.
Can we start,
Can we
please?
do the intro?
I've done the intro.
My name.
No,
I know it is.
it's not though, is it? Your
Hi.
name is really. It's not on the video. I don't know why I did that.
I'm here.
No, properly, come on.
What am I saying?
Hello, I'm here, I'm doing things.
Hello, I'm here, I'm doing things.
You're making me more and more tempted to put this as a blooper at the end. Can we
Put
just...
it in.
Okay, I haven't got much time, so I'm going to speed through this. First of all, welcome back. This is O2. Dibby's been doing some concrete powder for the walls. We determined it was the best colour. She also made this aquarium type thing. I'm not sure what she called it. She can tell you next episode. She hasn't done this part because the slime's going to be here, and for this part we use string so that the concrete doesn't fall. Similarly, back here we used a picture on a sign because there was redstone and the concrete would fall and break. But as you can see, she stopped doing that because she realised, I'll explain what this is later, that the floor design she had done for cafeteria was supposed to be diagonal, so like that instead of just straight grid like that, which is what she did. So you can see this middle section here and a bit along the outside where she started ripping out the floor, and she hasn't had time to finish, obviously. I have also built a system for security, so to get up there it's exactly the same as an admin. You press the button, drops you down, when you go up, then you're in the place that looks sort of like the vent. This is the long box that you saw before. There's all these signs that tell you where various places are. So this one here, for example, you just stand here. I know that in the real game you look at all 4 cameras at once. I couldn't find a way to do that, so this instead. And I calculated it almost perfectly, so you can see just about, I think that's the bottom of the pressure plate there, just on top of my cursor, you can see just about the doors of either room, but not quite. And an embarrassing secret is that I did actually consider using like Pythagoras and sine, cosine, tangent to work out exact length of the room, but I'm not that bad. And it was a similar thing just throughout with the torches to light it. Glazed terracottas because there's slime outside, but again this is just placeholder blocks. Dibby will do all this later. And this is the camera just outside admin. My concern about this is obviously there'll be a wall so you can't see the redstone, but you are supposed to see just into storage. You're supposed to be able to see through the wall, obviously because the walls here are 3-dimensional as opposed to a 2D map. On Among Us, that's not possible. I don't think it's that much of a problem, but if any of you have an idea, then I would be delighted to hear it. And this is the camera that's outside O2 and navigation. You all know the one I'm talking about, hopefully. Obviously this applies as well because 3D walls versus 2D walls. So what I'm assuming is going to happen here is that the walls of the corridors, as I've shown back there, were made of glass, and there'll just be a wall like this wood down here to stop people in that corridor from seeing through to that one. But you, in security, will be able to have a look at all 3 sides. It's not a perfect solution, but it's the best I can think of. Again, if you have a better idea, please let me know. And obviously, you as the player can see if someone's in security. In the actual game, it's because there's a red light on the camera, and here it's because you can just look up and see if there's someone in there. I suppose this makes it a bit easier for the crewmates if someone says, oh, I was somewhere completely different, I was in O2 or whatever, and then you can say, actually no you weren't, because I was here and I saw that you were in security. Or for the imposters, I guess, it worked both ways. So all in all, this has been a pretty heavy episode, at least for me, with all the admin lines and everything. It's a shame we didn't get to see more of Dibby, but hopefully she'll be back for more next episode. And I am planning to work on the sabotagers next episode, so that's going to be either fun or make me want to kill myself. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any ideas on how to improve what's already here, or for how to build something in the future, please let me know, because I am a small brain person and I would love your advice. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed, and this has been Dobby, and thanks for watching Gameception Episode 2. If you enjoyed, leave a like or a nice comment, it means a lot to us. and if you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe. Thanks for watching.